and was only suitable for people aged 18 or over, will almost certainly have an adult theme, and might well contain sex or violence, which are quite graphic. It may also contain explicit language, including sexual swear words. Thanks for listening.
But here's what his revelation comes to him. He's kind of got all this stuff like touching, wiping, mourning of the animals.
Not wiping, whipping.
Yeah.
Also, not
torture.
also not touching.
I am dyslexic. I hope I'm not having like a stroke.
Do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
And then atheists almost always become supporters of eugenics and abortion.
A swine is hungry for nuts. Jesus hates them too.
Satan is real.
Being a Satanist is an open declaration of revolt against counterproductive received wisdom and mindless rogue tradition.
Decapitate her head off.
We're done. You're done.
Obama!
Obama! I don't even know if that's going to be in the...
Yeah.
Did you do a new drop?
No, but I made 2 last week, and you're like, those are good. Now take it home with you. So
those are good. Well, it was those are good. Take it home and fix them. No, they're good. Yeah. Today is Wednesday, January 25th. This is episode 141. I'm Dan Ellis.
Yes, you are.
Matt is running the board because Ryan is not
I'm attempting
here.
to. Ryan is doing stuff, more important things elsewhere.
Ryan is apparently filming shit with Todd Bridges somewhere in Idaho.
Who's that?
Whoever that is.
And you young fuckers, man. Nobody knows. So Matt is running the board.
Yes, I am.
And in studio with us tonight, we have Rebecca Sims.
Hello.
And Tamara Fox.
Hi.
They're going to tell us all about the fantastic, fabulous, wonderful, awesome, kick-ass,
splendiferous.
It's the greatest.
Fancy, nifty, neato, Atheists of Utah Winter Gala that's coming up.
Great Minds Gala.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the Great Minds Gala.
So I've heard Gala,
2017.
Gala. What is it?
I don't know. Super hoity-toity, it's Gala. Pretty sure that's how that works.
Yeah, I think I say Gala most of the time.
And then every now and then you get a little hood and Gala comes out. And you're like,
oh,
that felt really uncomfortable.
They
prefer Homola. Okay.
Oh. Good to know.
In Trump's America, we can say Homola because it's
Gala.
PC. We've got some good stories to talk about tonight as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some very disappointing things. I want to start off by talking about a law that was recently passed in Mississippi that the governor signed into law today.
No surprise.
Mississippi, of all places, right? Go figure.
Yeah.
Mississippi.
It was either going to be them or Alabama.
Yeah. Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant signed into law a new bill that basically allows protection for people's sincerely held religious beliefs or moral convictions, including the belief that marriage is only between a man and a woman and that sexual relations should only occur in such a marriage. It also says that a person's gender is determined by anatomy and genetics at time of birth. Goes on to say that businesses can determine who is allowed to access bathrooms, dressing rooms, and locker rooms. I'm very troubled by things like this. We've seen similar laws. They passed the one in North Carolina. I think there is one in Alabama that they passed recently as well. But I imagine that all of these will soon run afoul of lawsuits. The new law is called the Protecting Freedom of Conscience, thank you, from Government Discrimination Act.
Oh, God.
It's a lot of words.
He is the government! What is he talking about?
It's supposed to take effect on July 1st. I'm very troubled by things like this, because then it basically sets it up to where the government is the arbiter of what is both a sincerely held belief and what is a religion.
More than that, it's state government.
Yeah, it's not even at the federal level.
Yeah.
This is individual states.
Yeah.
So let's say that we're
a state
that we're in the South, maybe Mississippi, where
Utah's very South-like
is a big thing. Yeah.
I'm
surprised. I'm surprised at how many.
We have a twang, even.
I'm surprised at how many people fly a Confederate flag around here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you? Well, I know you've seen him. Have you guys seen the dipshit in his giant truck and the big fucking flags driving down the freeway?
Oh, yeah. I have seen that dipshit.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. But I don't know. Like, Utah was never part of the Confederacy. We're not a southern state.
I don't think it was even a state.
So states like North Carolina, they had the NCAA put a lot of pressure on them.
And the NBA, too, in fact.
Yeah, and a lot of businesses. I think Apple, IBM, HP, a bunch of the tech businesses said, we were planning on opening a business around here, providing a bunch of jobs and millions of dollars into the local economy. And now we're not, because you're a bunch of bigoted fucks, and we don't want to hire people to come and work for our company in a state that is going to treat them like lesser people. So we'll take our business elsewhere.
And Pat McCrory said, I don't care. We'll continue to split this $37.
You can take those homos and trans people somewhere else. We don't really care. Because we get we get enough federal money anyway.
Right. It's one of the biggest welfare states. Yeah.
Not long before Bryant signed the law into effect on Tuesday, PayPal, California-based online payments firm, announced that it would abandon plans to expand to North Carolina due to the law. PayPal had planned to open a facility in Charlotte that state officials said would bring 400 jobs and millions of dollars to the local economy there. So, yeah, I mean, luckily we have a bunch of businesses who are standing up for this, but I think this is something that is going to have to go to the Supreme Court, and that is even more terrifying.
Yep.
Knowing that Donald Trump is going to be able to pick
Roy Moore.
Oh, God. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can.
Do you think that?
I don't know.
I'll bet he's on the short list.
I bet he is.
Do you guys know who Roy Moore is?
No. I don't.
Tamara,
you got to think that Trump pretty much only knows his sister, who's a judge somewhere in the country, right?
And he knows her.
And Mike Pence is probably got a fucking major hard-on for Roy Moore. And he's good. Jesus.
In the biblical sense.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't his sister, he'd probably be dating her.
Yeah.
But Mike Pence, who influences, I think, a lot of his political decisions, especially early on, because Trump knows absolutely nothing, loves Roy Moore. I'm sure of it.
Do you think he actually loves Roy Moore, or he loves what Roy Moore and what he stands for could do for Donald Trump as far as stirring up the base of the ignorant conservative dipshits who support him, even though prior to running for president, it was pretty clear that he's not religious at all. Doesn't really give a flying fuck about any of that.
Which is why I said Mike Pence. Now, I don't think Trump cares. Trump only knows his sister, as I said, but Mike Pence, who's going to be pulling a lot of the political strings early on because Trump doesn't know anything, is got a major hard-on for Roy Moore because they're one and the same, but he's actually a judge, so I think there's... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if his name's even been tossed around, but that's the fucking nightmare for me, so I was just like, that's probably going to happen.
So for you, Rebecca and Tamara, and maybe our listeners out there who may not know, Roy Moore is the judge in Alabama who... had the Ten Commandments monument put, I think it was inside.
It was on his lap. He just walked around with it the entire time.
But anyway, there was this giant fucking Ten Commandments monument erected in Alabama, and he was told that he had to get rid of it. He refused. People sued. He was actually removed from his judgeship. He had his judge appointment removed from him, and was later reelected as judge, and basically did the same thing. He tried to get the monument put back up, and then he also sent out memos to people after the SCOTUS ruled on marriage equality, saying that it was now the law of the land. Roy Moore sent out a memo to court clerks saying that they didn't actually have to do that, and that basically he wasn't going to follow that law. So he was removed from the bench again. This time it's for good because there's a law in Alabama that you have to be below a certain age if you're running for public office. By the time he runs again, he'll be too old. So he's done as a judge, or at least at the state level, but maybe...
He's 69.
Maybe they would pick him for SCOTUS.
It sounds like a real piece of shit.
Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, yeah. He's a terrible fucking human being.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like just the person for Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, we need Foghorn Leghorn on the fucking Supreme Court. That's what we need. I think he's the one that said something about Willis. Wasn't that right? Wasn't that guy?
Yeah. He was on Different Strokes. That's all about old people. I couldn't even
think
right?
of the name of the show because I don't.
It's all about old people. Different Strokes.
Brutal.
Jesus Christ.
That was brutal.
Never mind.
That was brutal.
Now I'm going to have to play crickets for myself. God damn it.
Please stand by. The Godless Rebelution will continue in a moment.
Hi, this is Justin Schieber, formerly of the Reasonable Doubts podcast and currently of Real Atheology, and you are listening to the Godless Rebelution.
The God of the Gaps argument has always been used to provide a place for God. The idea is that if science can't explain something, then maybe we need to reintroduce God. That's been historically the reason why people even talked about God. God was always an explanation for the things they didn't understand. Now, I don't claim that we understand everything, but we can give a plausible explanation for every question of this sort, rather than the gaps increasing as he was urging. I claim that the gaps have pretty much disappeared.
Here follows a public service announcement for the Two Skeptical Chaps podcast. Greetings, Americans! Over here in London, we are well aware that not all of you are loud, xenophobic, racist, sexist, religious nuts.
But many of your politicians who display these frightful traits seem to be quite popular.
Particularly a certain wall-obsessed, small-handed, best-word-using, daughter-perving, war-inciting, candy-floss-headed clown.
To those of you who choose to follow such balderdash, we strongly recommend not to listen to the Two Skeptical Chaps.
It probably won't be your cup of tea.
Otherwise, give us a listen.
Each episode, we cover any news or current affairs from across the globe.
Things that annoy or delight us.
That's two, as in the number 2.
And skeptical with a K.
The wrong way to spell it. Cheerio!
Thanks for listening. Now back to the show.
Folsom, California.
I hear they got a prison there.
Yeah. Pretty notorious prison.
Isn't that where Johnny Cash was?
Pretty sure.
Singing by?
Was he ever in prison?
He done sung from there.
He did a concert in prison.
Sang in prison.
Not a fan.
You don't like Johnny Cash?
I don't like music, really, so.
You like some music.
He's way down on the list.
Learning new things about you.
You thought I was a Johnny Cash type of guy?
Why not?
Isn't everybody?
Who doesn't like Johnny Cash?
Yeah.
Seriously. Who doesn't like Johnny Cash?
People with taste.
Ooh. Ooh. It's confessional night. Things are going to come out. It's going to be great.
Reports of a Confederate flag hanging in a Sutter middle school classroom has some parents up in arms, and a teacher on paid leave, CBS reports. It's a concerning allegation, and we understand that regardless of context for many people, including many in our school community, this is a piece of history and also an inflammatory racist symbol of hate, said Daniel Thigpen, a spokesman for the Folsom Cordova Unified School District, which of course it is.
Unified?
Unified.
It is, of course, unified. A racist symbol of hate is what I was referring to.
I see.
The relevant part of the last paragraph.
Unified?
Unified. The flag was removed from the classroom, as was the teacher. The district says racism will not be tolerated. School officials told CBS Sacramento that this isn't the first time the teacher has been brought up on racist allegations. Parents said they want to know the context of the lesson and why the flag was ever hanging in the first place. There are upsetting things that have happened in our past. I would hope that he would teach them in a sensitive manner so that nobody is offended. But I do not think it's important that they be taught, says Melissa Moy, whose daughter is in the class. This is the second round of problems for this teacher in less than 3 months. He made a comment during a history lesson that was highly offensive to an 8th grader and his family. Ready?
What was it?
The teacher said equality, such as if you were to hang one black person, you would have to hang all black people, because that's equality.
What?
Said Tyree McIntyre in an interview back in November.
And he wasn't fucking fired then?
And he's still there.
Oh my God.
The example upset their son, who was the only black student in their classroom.
Oh, Jesus.
Brutal.
8th grade?
8th grade.
Wow.
So he's 14.
Old enough that he knows.
Oh, he knows.
The teacher's really fucking up, but not old enough that he feels like he can say anything to him himself, and
sure,
probably didn't even tell his parents about it right away. Man.
Unless he's been primed by his parents to watch for that stuff.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
If he's the only one, I imagine they've talked to him about it. Hopefully.
It's interesting, too, because we always think of California as this sort of like this leftist bastion, you know, like this liberal, like Hollywood and all the big cities, and it's always votes blue. But
they passed Prop 8. They do a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, and the rural parts are still...
Yeah, I was going to say there are a lot of rural parts of California that are super conservative.
Rural parts of anywhere are conservative, yeah.
Do you think do you think that's just born of a lack of
education, diversity, yeah, understanding, exposure? Yeah, it's a lack of all the human stuff.
Well, he was the only black kid in the class. Like,
so obviously it's not. Yeah, that's a good point. That's not an urban school.
That's sad. Well, I would hope that his parents would prime him for recognizing something like that and to talk to them about it, because, you know, occasionally I'll hear stories from my kids or somebody else's kids that, you know, oh yeah, when I was in school this happened, or one night when we were out this happened. I'm like, what the fuck? Seriously? Yeah. And you didn't tell anybody? Like, this is the first I'm hearing about it. One of the kids got pulled over one night. It was Tracy's daughter, Danica, said that she was driving home from work one night, and this mall cop pulled her over outside the mall. Like, she's on main streets, not in the mall parking lot. And a mall cop pulled her over and made up some bullshit excuse about why he pulled her over, and then started flirting with her and trying to hit on her. And I was like, that's not fucking cool at all, man.
That's impersonating a police officer.
Yeah, that dude should be fucking arrested himself, because you can't fucking do that.
Yeah. Also, red flags for other things, violent behavior.
Stay the fuck away.
Stalking, rape.
And, so I was like, seriously, that fucking happened? And you pulled over and you rolled down the window and talked to this guy? And I'm like, no. You don't do that unless it's a real officer. But you don't fucking pull over.
How do you know when it's dark and there's lights in your rear view and you can't really tell?
It's not her fault,
you can't
really.
see the side of the car.
Yeah,
I would have stopped.
Yeah, but then when he pulls up to your door, you know, when he rolls up to your door and says, "Hi, I'm Joe. I'm Joe Mall security guy," you tell him to fuck off and bother somebody else.
Did he say that?
I don't know.
Or did he just say, give me your license and registration?
Just crack your window open and like ask for their badge info and stuff like that. But like no one ever does that.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You're allowed to do that? See?
Yeah. It's hard, but like you hear stuff like that. And then like she didn't think anything of it and was just telling us kind of in passing later. And I was like, wait, what happened to you and why? And this, you were pulled over and this guy, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Stuff that, like, she didn't even think was any big deal. And I'm like, no, that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Well, I think also as a female, there's a lot of things that happen that you don't know are a big deal until at some point it just sort of comes up and then everyone's freaking out and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I should definitely watch for that in the future. I almost died. Great.
Great. That now I'm going to be terrified and be watching for that everywhere.
But it's just common stuff. There's weird stuff that happens and you're not taught to stand up for yourself, or at least I wasn't. I think it's more
you're taught
now.
to go with the flow and just kind of be cool,
and pacify, and that's how you escape most situations.
Maybe it's just because I've been watching a lot of Forensic Files lately, but to me that seems like that's dangerous behavior.
That's how you all get murdered.
It absolutely is, but that's how girls are conditioned.
You're just brought up to not bother people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't make a big fuss.
Yeah.
Don't rock the boat. Don't make people feel bad. Yeah.
Don't question things.
Yep.
Because you're not a man.
Pretty much. I mean,
it wasn't that explicit.
No,
but that is definitely how I was raised.
Yeah.
Young women don't act like that.
Exactly.
Young women don't do this. They don't do that. Yeah.
You don't even talk loud.
Except for me.
Except Becca.
Don't laugh too boisterously. Don't have too much fun. Don't get drunk. Don't question people. Don't make yourself a spectacle.
Were you raised a girl?
Don't be slutty.
No.
Yeah, you've got it down, Dad.
Don't wear sleeveless things here in Utah. Got to cover your shoulders.
It's a big one.
I mean,
modest is hottest.
Shoulders are the best. So,
so you guys, we'll talk more about your background in a little bit. I want to hear, like, if you were raised in Utah, if you were LDS, were religious before. I'm assuming that you are both atheists since you are working on organizing the Atheists of Utah. Great
you assume
minds.
correctly, sir.
That's true.
Gala.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this a new thing? Have you been always atheist?
I considered myself an atheist since like my mid-20s or so. And before that, I was agnostic for a few years. I was raised Mormon until I was 19.
Yeah.
You? I left when I was about 23.
Yeah.
And I spent about a year doing the spiritual but not religious bullshit. and then after that, I was like, this doesn't even make any sense. I'm an atheist. So.
And you say left, so did you leave the LDS church as well?
I did.
Yep. Seems to be the thing here in Utah.
Yeah.
That if you're no longer religious, you are probably formerly
Everybody's
LDS.
doing it.
Yeah.
All the cool kids, anyway.
All the cool kids.
The second absence, and this is probably the biggest one, the second absence is the absence of evidence for a God. If there were evidence for a God, we would have seen it tonight. It would have been on the table. Jerry would have said, here's the evidence for a God, not evidence against evolution. That's just a gap.
This is New Name Noah, and you're listening to the Godless Rebelution.
Thank you to everybody who has rated the show on iTunes and Stitcher and are following us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And to all our Patreon patrons, you make the show possible.
So one of my favorite groups is Americans United for the separation of church and state. I read this earlier today. This was published out on their website. I'm trying to remember who posted it out on Facebook that I saw. This comes right from the Americans United for Separation of Church and State's website. Title of the article says, Ohio Duo's Bible-based defense should fail in court. Many strange religious freedom arguments have been made in court cases over the years, and a recent case adds a more disturbing twist. Two alleged rapists and pedophiles in Ohio are attempting to use the Bible as their defense for serially raping a 13-year-old girl in captivity from 2012 to 2015.
So 10 to 13 years old.
Yeah. And what makes it worse is that Mr. Timothy Saboro and his son Eston Saboro of Toledo, Ohio, are accused of raping Timothy's stepdaughter, who authorities said had been shackled and abused throughout the 3-year period. She escaped while the Saboros were out of the house. They also allegedly sexually assaulted the girl's younger sibling during that time frame. The allegations are horrendous, and the Saboros' attempt to use the Bible as their only defense is morally and legally wrong.
Is it morally wrong, though?
No, they're trying to say that it's not according to their biblical worldview.
But what I'm saying is, according to the Bible, is it? I mean, do they have a case according to the Bible? Obviously, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous and gross and disgusting. And
I can't imagine
horrible.
that there's anything in the Bible that says it's okay to kidnap and rape a girl over 3 years. Or any
own
period of time.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I don't think it says it outright, but I mean, women are property. So if I'm coming on the wrong side of this, but what I'm saying is, look, this is terrible. This is terrible, terrible stuff. And there's no way they should ever win this. They should be put in jail for the rest of their lives. But biblically, I mean, this is an atheist show. I'm just like,
the Bible. They want to use the Bible as part of their defense,
and the Bible is
arguments
pretty
from the Bible
fucking terrible
to present a case that what they did isn't wrong.
It probably doesn't have this exact specific example, but I think it has plenty of examples that they could use for precedent.
Right. That in the way that women are treated as property and daughters. Especially, they'd be sold off to whoever for 50 shekels or whatever it is, whatever the cost.
Don't rape the angels, rape my daughters instead.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, and there's historical precedent for young girls, like being women at ages of 9 and above, things of that nature.
Right.
So,
yuck.
Yeah.
They're trying to defend themselves in court and ask if they could bring the Bible to court to question witnesses because to them it's, quote, the only law book that truly matters. the Toledo Blade reported.
Except it's not a law book.
It's a story.
Yeah, parenthetically,
it is a law book in a sense. I mean, Leviticus and stuff, but those are the ancient
biblical laws,
ancient biblical laws of the Hebrews. Yeah, no bearing on law today.
Quote, "There's a great deal of strategy in Scripture, and I use those strategies in everything I do," said Eston Sibero. "It's a vital part of everything I do." While Lucas County Common Pleas Judge Linda Jennings said the two may bring a Bible during the trial, which started January 23rd, she properly denied their request to use the book to question witnesses.
So they have a female judge?
Mm-hmm.
How interesting.
Mm-hmm.
She should be disqualified because she's a female.
And
Clearly
Timothy.
She's biased.
2 Timothy.
She can't do this work. She can't pass judgment on these men. It's the court's opinion that while the Bible is very important, it is not a law book in a court of law, Judge Jennings said. She made the right call. What the Bible, or any other religious book for that matter, says about sexual assault is hardly relevant, as our laws are not based on religious texts.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If these two are found guilty by a jury, they'll have to pay the consequences regardless of what they think Scripture says. But the Siberos saw things differently. The Blade reported that during a November hearing, Eston Sibero, I keep wanting to say Esteban. Eston Sibero told Jennings that he doesn't trust lawyers to defend him and that he'd rather rest his legal defense on God.
Go ahead, man.
I would like him to do that too.
Please do so.
Yeah. Also, I think it'd be interesting to see, because Ohio's a pretty religious state anyway, and super conservative. It'd be interesting to see how, I mean, of course, the No True Scotsman would come out immediately, but it would just be interesting to see how, other Christians would look at this and be like, well, I mean, he is using the Bible,
Or would they be like, oh, wait, the Bible's super fucked up?
No, of course not. No, of course.
They'll never think that.
These aren't true Christians.
That's
the first thing.
Yeah, they're not true
happen.
Christians. He's not reading it in the proper context.
Yeah.
It's not the right translation.
There's just too many of those.
Yeah. One of the quotes from Mr. Sibero is, "The professionals built the Titanic, amateurs built the Ark," as if.
Yeah, that's a quote from him. All right.
Yeah, sure. We've never heard that one before. This isn't the first time people.
Also, how is that even related to this in any way?
Because he wants to use the Bible. He wants to use the Bible and lawyers, God as his defense instead of lawyers, because lawyers are the professionals.
Right.
This isn't the first time people have tried to use religion as a justification for crimes they've committed. We've previously wrote about an Indiana woman's attempt to use Indiana's religious freedom law to justify physically abusing her son. The court rightfully rejected this claim. In another case we covered, an Indiana man cited the same law to argue that paying state income taxes violated his religious freedom.
Would these be Mike Pence's Indiana freedom law, religious freedom laws?
Yeah. That's what I mean.
That'd be the RFRAs of Mike Pence when he was governor of Indiana.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. It makes the state the arbiter of what is a religion and what is a sincerely held belief. Mm-hmm. Why can't I just start my own religion if I sincerely believe it? Who is the state then to tell me that it's not really a religion or that I don't sincerely hold those beliefs? Be them whatever they may.
Isn't that what the Satanic Temple did?
Yeah. That's before you guys got here, Matt. Matt and I were talking, and I was like, that's the perfect niche that the Satanic Temple fills, is that they are a religion who then gets to exercise all of the privileges that these asshats are trying to write into their laws, and they do it specifically to benefit a particular brand of religion, right? They do it to benefit those of the Christian faith, not thinking for a second that, hey, wait, somebody else could do this too. A Muslim could say that they want to
honor killings.
Honor killings, or something even as simple as what we talked about last week with Salat, where they want to be able to pray 5 times a day, and their employer says, no, you can't fucking do that. You're destroying productivity. I'm not going to pay you to do that.
Yeah, that's a lot of prayers.
It's a lot of prayers, a lot of problems for an employer in the United States to then have to say, I can't shut down the production line, or I can't let you just take off whenever you want to go and pray 5 fucking times a day But now they're going to be able to use this as a defense and say, no, this is my sincerely held belief that I have to be able to do this. And you as an employer now, because of the laws that these Christians wrote and put into place, can't tell me that I can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it can even be tied into this story where now it's a sincerely held belief that you have to rape a 13-year-old girl repeatedly, and
or that
not even that,
okay.
or
that you're allowed
not even
to.
necessarily that not even necessarily that you have to, but just that it's okay. There's no problem with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My religion teaches that there's nothing wrong with this. So what the fuck is your problem with it?
Yeah. What's the limit to the religious freedom?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at what point then do they step in and say, okay, no, you can't do this?
Right.
And clearly they're going to do it for this case.
Yeah.
So the law is written just to maintain their control over gay people, over trans people, over people that they disagree with on moral grounds, not for any other reason, but to say that, ooh, you're gay and that's icky.
Yep. Yeah. And so the thing is that it used to be the case. I mean, it still is for now. And the first 7 minutes of Trump's presidency makes me wonder if that's going to last. But wherever those religious, rules or permissions or whatever you want to call it, intersects with the laws of the country, that's where that ends, right? But these limits are constantly being challenged by these RFRA laws and cases like this idiot, who should be in prison for the rest of his fucking life because he's a dangerous criminal. But yet they're just going to challenge the fringes of settled law with all this religious freedom bullshit and try to continue to push that into who knows where, until what's illegal anymore, what's permissible. I mean, it sounds like slippery slope, but we're seeing it being impinged, so
we're seeing them being able to skirt other laws. It's legal now that gay people can be married in a court anywhere in the United States. But Mississippi's law in particular says that even court clerks don't have to sign. Yeah. They don't have to actually do their fucking job and provide licenses for these people unless there will be an undue burden on these people. If there's no other way for them to get their license, then the clerk has to do it. But if there's anybody else available to do it within a quote unquote reasonable amount of time, then they can just deny doing it right then and there. They don't have to do it themselves, and that's their fucking job.
And how long will they leave that clause in there? Before they're just like, nope, nobody has to do this anymore. Yeah. This is ridiculous. And after Trump puts Roy Moore on the Supreme Court, how long is it going to be before somebody goes to challenge Obergefell and that comes down too?
And how would they feel about an atheist doctor who is working in the ER? I mean, so let me stop and start over again real quick here. So let's say they're already defending people like pharmacists and doctors who doctors who don't want to prescribe abortion, not abortion pills,
birth control,
or pharmacists who don't want to have to fill a prescription, or doctors who don't even want to talk about anything to do with terminating a pregnancy,
as part of standard healthcare,
right?
Not just like somebody that just, it doesn't even matter why, but I'm just saying even as standard healthcare, because birth control is for more than just terminating a pregnancy.
Yeah, a lot of women use it to help moderate their hormones and help smooth things out, right? To make their periods and their cramps not as bad,
or to get pregnant.
Yeah, there are a lot of reasons to use these contraceptives, but there are pharmacists and doctors who won't discuss it or don't want to discuss it based on their religion. And so they don't. So, and they're perfectly fine with that. The Christians who write this law are like, no, that's who this was intended for. Somebody who doesn't want to violate their own personal conscience and moral values and religious beliefs. That's who we wrote this for, is to protect those people. Okay, great. What if you have somebody who's an atheist and is just a giant asshole, doesn't fucking care about anybody, or views people of religious faith as being subhuman or stupid, and that by the religious person's own beliefs, God will sort things out. So if you come into the ER and you need attention and you're religious, no, fuck you. I'm not going to help you out. Pray to your fucking God.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've talked about this.
Would he then be protected for not treating you at all?
Is that considered a religious belief, though, since it's the absence of religion?
Yeah, I don't know why they or how they could argue. I mean, that's why I say that's the state, and these people then become the arbiter. And who are they to decide what is a sincerely held belief or what qualifies as a religion?
I know we've talked about that with Ryan before too, like what if he just was to decide when he gets a call for a fire and he's like, well, I don't know, are they Christian? I might not want to put their house out, Right. He doesn't do that. He just shows up. Just does the same job for everybody, It's like, doesn't matter. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think First Amendment protections apply to atheists, at least to a certain extent. I don't know if it's to the same extent, but it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Well, they're writing these laws with the idea that they'll get to modify them so that it benefits them only.
Well, of course.
Well, yeah, and they were created to benefit them only in the first place.
Yeah.
They wrote them specifically to get around other laws that respect the civil rights and basic humanity of other people.
Right. Left policies.
It's I want to still be able to be a fucking bigot and have legal protection for being a fucking bigot.
Mm-hmm. And I want to be able to yell at you for calling me a bigot.
Right.
Because that's not what I am.
That's
You're a bigot for calling me a bigot.
I'm not a bigot. God tells me that I have to hate you.
Yeah, God's the bigot, not me. I'm just doing what he says.
I'm just doing what the man upstairs thinks is right, okay? If you got a problem, take it up with him.
Yeah. I fucking will.
What also floats in water?
Bread. Apples. Very small rocks.
Hey everybody, this is X.
And I'm Kyle.
And I'm Felicia. We're the Utah Outcasts.
3 out, unashamed, and active atheists living in Utah.
And we are personally inviting you to let us love your ears each and every week.
As we take the news, current events, and pop culture and give it a little twist.
A love twist, with consent.
And we'll be joined each week by a special guest to tell us what makes them an outcast like us.
Come find us.
The Utah Outcasts.
On podhell.com, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play,
Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
And on UtahOutcast.com.
We finally bought that domain off the kids handing out mixtapes in the mall.
Come be an outcast with us.
Take care of yourselves out there.
Bonne nuit.
And you're welcome.
This is Lucian Greaves with the Satanic Temple, and you're listening to Godless Rebelution.
Rejoining the Godless Rebelution podcast now.
This all kind of made me very nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine on Facebook posted this. I think it was actually Stu DeHaan, one of the chapter heads for the Arizona chapter of the Satanic Temple. This comes to us from Mental Floss. It was The Devil Made Them Do It, 8 examples of satanic panic in the 80s. Did you know that the Smurfs are evil and satanic?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
Well, duh. They're blue.
That makes them satanic?
I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Okay.
Number 1 on the list is Thundercats and the Smurfs. In 1986, author Phil Phillips published Turmoil in the Toy Box, a book detailing how Masters of the Universe and other popular cartoons of the era were endorsing pagan practices through coaxial cables. With Pastor Gary Greenwald, Phillips also shot a video that elaborated on his theories. Quote, "The question is there a well-organized plot, an insidious design right now to program and influence the minds of our children toward the occult and witchcraft?" And of course, he didn't follow that up with, or is it just a fucking cartoon that kids like to watch?
Yeah.
Of course, this question was rhetorical, as the two explained that the Thundercats was inspired by heathen gods,
oh, God.
that E.T. died and was resurrected again, and could therefore be confused with Christian figures, and that there are things we need to look at concerning the Smurfs. Because the characters are blue with black lips, they were depicted as dead creatures. And of course, there's only one female Smurf. Where did all the other Smurfs come from?
I think they just clone.
Reverse polygamy. Yeah, they smurfed a lot.
Yeah, they
did. Collectively, Saturday morning cartoons would teach children to get into spells and witchcraft. The two concluded their video essay by pointing out that Rainbow Bright had a pentagram on her cheek.
Wasn't that a
You
star?
mean a star?
But was it upside down?
I don't know.
But
to their point, we watched that and we're all atheists now, so...
Oh,
Maybe
that
they're
is
onto
a good
something.
point. I mean, it could be.
Mm-hmm.
Thundercats led me straight down.
Oh, yeah.
And I personally am a supporter of the Satanic Temple, so maybe I was wholly influenced and just didn't have any idea.
And you
Got to when you were young.
kind of do have like a reverse Lion-O mane going on.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Like that orange hair is coming out the bottom of your head.
Thunder! Thunder! Thundercats! Ho!
Yay! I thought you weren't going to do the ho. I was going to be really upset.
I always do the ho. Ask Tracy, she'll tell you.
Oh, shit.
Number 2 on the list. In December 1985, 18-year-old Raymond Belknap and 20-year-old James Vance ended a long night of drinking by committing to a suicide pact. Belknap shot and killed himself. Vance attempted to do the same, but wound up surviving with grievous and permanent disfiguring injury, the shotgun blast.
Oh, jeez.
Both men had been fans of the rock band Judas Priest, who had been reputed to have recorded subliminal messages in their music. Vance's parents decided to sue the band and CBS Records for $6.2 million in damages, alleging phrases like "do it" and "let's be dead" were being delivered to Vance's subconscious. When the case went to a civil trial in 1990, audio engineers played the group's music backward and forward at varying speeds in an attempt to discern whether or not there were any hidden urgings for listeners to kill themselves. Ultimately, a judge ruled there were no messages in the music. Speaking to Rolling Stone in 2015, lead singer Rob Halford expressed both relief and disappointment in the tragic circumstances. Quote, "Had the judge found in favor about the so-called subliminal messages having the power to physically manifest themselves and make people to do something, the ramifications of that would have been extraordinary," he said. "How do you prove to somebody that there are not subliminal messages on your record when you can't hear them in the first place?"
It's an excellent question.
Kind of harkens back to like Salem witch trials, right? Like, oh, she did this to me, but I got better. Or she made me want to do something. I can't prove it, but clearly she's a witch and we need to burn her at the stake. Of course, Dungeons and Dragons was satanic.
Oh, for sure.
Because there's nothing more sinister than pretending to slay dragons while rolling multi-sided die in your mother's basement.
That's one step away from baby eating.
Pampers diapers. This is the one that I can remember people talking about a lot. Not necessarily just Pampers diapers, but number 4 on the list is that in 1985, Procter & Gamble found itself in the unusual position of having to hold a press conference to deny that they were funding a satanic church. Since 1982, the company had been the target of anonymous accusations claiming their logo, a man in the moon surrounded by 13 stars, was secretly the mark of the devil. So many calls poured into the distributor of Ivory soap, Pampers diapers, and other household toiletries that they were forced to set up a toll-free number to refute allegations that they were beholden to the Church of Satan. As for the stars, when the company was formed in 1882, they were intended to represent the original 13 colonies. It was a patriotic symbol. And people twisted that into being satanic because it was Satan looking over his 13 apostles.
It was 100 years later, too.
Oh, my God.
The rumors ultimately prompted Procter & Gamble to remove the symbol from its packaging. But I can remember when I was a kid going to my grandma's house and them pulling out a bunch of different stuff. Oh, look, and this is from Procter & Gamble, and this, and I heard on the news, or somebody told me that, look at this symbol, look, see, that's Satan, and the stars around that, that's his 13 apostles. This is a hidden satanic message in this. I remember my grandparents talking about this with my aunts and uncles and nieces, and my cousins.
So if you had this grand scheme and plot, would you stamp your fucking thing right on the front of it? Like Ted Kaczynski putting his name right on all of his bombs, like before. Like, nobody does that! Why would Satan be that stupid? He's obviously at least as powerful as God.
But it's a hidden and secret message.
But it's not!
We just figured it out because we're
fucking
smart.
idiot Christians figured it out!
Exactly.
We're not idiots. We're smart. We figured out their secret
But it
plot.
took them 100 years to figure it out.
100 years.
So it was a good one.
Yeah.
It took 100 years, so...
It was a super secret special plot that those Christians, those wily Christians figured out. Number 5 was the McMartin preschool scandal.
Oh, God. Yeah, this is bad.
In one of the most sensationalized criminal trials of the 20th century, employees of the McMartin preschool near Los Angeles stood accused of improper behavior and molestation of their students. After one 3-year-old's mother grew convinced her son had been subject to abuse, several more children came forward. Some of the accounts included details of ritualistic animal slaughter, leading investigators to believe the school had become the epicenter of an occult organization. After a 6-year trial, the longest in American history, no one was convicted. A post-mortem of the investigation revealed several children had been subject to coercive interviews with law enforcement, where they sit you down and they say, "So we know that Satan has harmed you. Mm-hmm. Tell us how Satan has harmed you. Tell us how Satan acting through your teacher or your friends or your parents has harmed you, because Satan is bad, okay?"
Well, it's like, this is what your classmate said happened. Did that happen to you too? And so you're suggesting all of these other things. And they're like, yeah, that's totally what happened.
Oh, it happened to Tommy? Fuck, I'm as cool as Tommy. That happened to me too, totally. There's talk of Mr. Ed as number 6, that in the opening theme song, where it's, "A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course, unless, of course, that the horse is the famous Mr. Ed." But part of that, they believed, contained hidden satanic messages as well. Number 7 on the list is child sacrifice on Halloween. In 1989, parents in North Carolina were reluctant to send their children out for Halloween candy on the heels of rumors that Satanists planned to abduct and murder them in a ritual sacrifice.
That's every year, though. I don't.
More than 500 calls flooded area police stations in Raleigh after word spread that blonde boys from the ages of 2 to 5 were the devil worshippers' preferred targets. Oh, God. Mothers indicated they were considering dyeing their son's hair to avoid catastrophe.
Oh, my God. Because Satan can't tell.
That devil's wily. He'll put secret messages on packages for 100 years. But
they dye them all red so that Satan wouldn't take
if we
them.
dye our kids' hair, they'll never know. Police
then
never
they'd be taken for
nobody
minions.
wants redheads.
Yeah. They're like, oh, damn, they don't have a soul anyway, so next.
Yeah.
Never mind. Fucking gingers. Unsurprisingly, police never found evidence of the plot. Number 8 and the last on their list is our friend, the mustachioed Lothario, none other than Geraldo Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
Just his name is fucking sexy, right? I am Geraldo Rivera.
It's not as sexy
if
as
I didn't
Lionel.
know who he was, then yeah.
So at the height of the satanic hysteria, he was a broadcast journalist and compiled a 2-hour special for NBC that purported to detail the lurid mission of devil worshippers. It was Devil Worship, Exposing Satan's Underground, and posited that a secret cabal of Satanists numbering in excess of 1 million were responsible for messages in heavy metal and inspiring the behavior of cult leaders like Charles Manson. Quote, "The majority of them are linked in a highly organized, very secretive network," Rivera intoned, "from small towns to large cities. They have attracted police and FBI attention to their satanic ritual child abuse, child pornography, and grisly satanic murders. The odds are that this is happening in your town."
Scary.
Spooky music at the end.
I don't think he understands what the word odds means.
Or heavy metal, because Charles Manson was inspired by the Beatles.
With a million people.
He was.
Helter Skelter, right? So,
right, yeah. Yeah, the Beatles.
Are the Beatles heavy metal to Geraldo?
Oh, yeah, probably. Anything harder than the Carpenters, really.
he just likes big band.
The special aired in prime time to stellar ratings, grabbing the attention of nearly 20 million homes, although advertisers were reluctant to buy commercial spots. While Rivera presented a compelling case for concern, the mass media took care to note that the special didn't come from NBC News programmers. It was a product of the network's entertainment division instead. Not real news. It was fake news.
It was fake news. Just
it
like
was
CNN.
fake news at the time. Satan is real, but he's not going to be abducting your children.
How many viewers actually paid attention to the "this isn't real news" caveat, though?
Nobody.
Did they even post that? Did they say anything about that? Or
Well, the mass media took care to note that the special didn't come from the news programmers.
Yeah, but there's
from
that
the
whole
entertainment
effect
division.
where they say, this didn't happen, and everyone hears, this did happen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, well...
which is
shitty. And it comes from Geraldo Rivera, who at the time was a broadcast journalist, right? He's not...
Yeah.
It's not like he was a game show host or some shit like that. He was a journalist, and he's presenting this with credentials as a
Right.
journalist.
Like if Nabisco made dog treats and they called them not Oreos,
yeah,
then people would be like, "Oh,
well, clearly, it's
I guarantee
gonna be
most people
fantastic.
would buy those by accident and try to eat them."
Yeah,
They
is
do
that
it already
is that a
with
good enough
treats.
analogy? Does that one work? Is that
That's
closer.
better. Yeah, that's a
Better?
better
Okay.
analogy.
we were talking pre-show about
no, don't bring it up. I just want to
leave
make
everybody
sure.
in the dark.
We're practicing our analogies tonight. We'll just
Yeah.
leave it there.
That's fine. That's fine.
If you have questions, comments, concerns, compliments, corrections, criticisms, or concepts for content, contact the show via email at godlessrebelution@gmail.com, by text or voicemail at 330-81-REBEL, or Twitter the twatter at TGR Podcast. Thank you!
We all know there is a cure for poverty. It's a rudimentary one. It does work, though. It works everywhere for the same reason. It's colloquially called the empowerment of women. It's the only thing that does work. If you allow women some control over their cycle of reproduction, so that they're not chained by their husbands or by village custom to annual animal-type pregnancies, early death, disease, and so on. If you will free them from that, give them some basic health of that sort, and if you are generous enough to throw in perhaps a handful of seeds and a bit of credit, the whole floor, culturally, socially, medically, economic, of that village will rise. It works every time.
You and the Godless Rebelution will be reassimilated in 3, 2, 1.
The reason that we brought you two lovely ladies into the studio with us this evening is to tell us all about the Great Minds Gala and what you've done to organize it, prepare what's going to happen, because you guys are the brains behind it and have helped Atheists of Utah put this all together. And so, tell us a little bit about the gala. What, who's going to be there? What are prices? When is it?
All right. Well, it is February 25th.
Uh-huh.
It's a Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Everyone is going to be there.
Everyone?
Oh,
cool
my God.
kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone who's anyone, really. And it's 6 o'clock is when the doors open. We'll have dinner around 7.
Yeah.
There's going to be drinks. There'll be dancing. There'll be entertainment.
Alcoholic drinks?
Of course.
Okay, well then I'm there. That's all you had to say.
What other kind of drinks are there?
Yeah.
Stuff Mormons drink, I don't know.
That's not drinking.
Exactly. So, there'll be a silent auction, and all the money that we raise is going to go to Atheists of Utah.
To help benefit that wonderful organization.
It is pretty wonderful.
Help them do amazing, awesome things. I mean, what do they do with the money? Do you know?
Well, why don't you tell us more about that, Dan, since you're on the board and all?
So, Atheists of Utah does tons of awesome things with the money. First, it allows us to serve our members and provide a bunch of awesome and fun opportunities for them. Lets us buy supplies to do things like our monthly Good Without God events, where we've adopted a section of State Street. We'll go out and clean the highway. We go and clean and do gardening in different areas of the state. We volunteer at the Homeless Youth Resource Center to help them sort through food and clothing donations. We helped clean out their stock room one day. That was a whole lot more work than I think many of us thought was going to happen. But it's so in buying supplies for that, in making sure that people have water, that we get garbage bags and sunscreen for people if we're out cleaning the side of the road. It helps provide funds for purchasing food at different events. We do quarterly parties. So we do winter and summer solstice and spring and fall equinox parties. And, we buy a bunch of food for people. We've got to rent out a location or venue a lot of the time. decorations, plates, cups, napkins, all of the simple stuff that not many people even really think about that you've got to pay for behind the scenes. We donate money to other nonprofit organizations. Last year we donated more than $3,500 to Planned Parenthood. This year we're talking about doing a matching donation with a member of the organization who's contacted us who wanted to do something like that, where during part of the silent auction, besides having items that you can bid on and go home with, that it would be a good idea maybe to offer up a challenge donation where somebody will put up X amount of money and say, all donations up to this amount, I will match with an equal donation to another organization, and whatever comes in as a match can go to Atheists of Utah. So this person has chosen Planned Parenthood again to be the recipient of their matching donation, and then the other proceeds would go to Atheists of Utah.
I love this idea. I'm so stoked about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
You can benefit two organizations with one shot.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
So doing things like that, we've donated to T of Utah, the Transgender Education Advocates. We donated to the Homeless Youth Resource Center. It helps us sponsor different events like participating in the Pride Parade and Festival. Helps pay for our parade entries and space on festival grounds, helps pay for the things like the tents that we have to use on the grounds and the tables and the cloths and the different display things that we have to get to put out our merchandise and chairs to sit on while we're doing that. There's a lot of things that we have to pay for as an organization. And these are just things that people can see but not even really notice. Then there are all the administrative costs of, having to have a mailbox that you pay for every month so that you can receive actual snail mail from people and donations from people, from other organizations.
Websites.
Paying for websites, paying for people to help us do work for other things, purchasing shirts for when we do the Pride Parade and Festival, purchasing merchandise to later sell. All of this costs money, and it's really hard to get money out of people that were formerly religious, especially here in the state of Utah, where they're told that they have to donate 10% of their income as part of their religious belief and practice. And so they leave the religion and they're like, fuck yeah, there's a 10% raise, and why was I so stupid for that for all of those years donating all of that money? Look at how much money I put into this horrible organization. I'm not doing that ever again. I'm not donating to anybody, especially something that could be, then people will say, well, it's just like another religion. You're still giving money to some organization. So sometimes it's really hard to get money out of people for stuff like that, but we do a lot of great work. And the board, we have very little expenses. We try to keep our expenses as minimal as possible. None of the board members are paid. The things that we have to spend money on personally to be members of a board of volunteers to do things for other people, we're not even reimbursed for, right?
Yeah.
We all pay for our tickets to go to the gala. We pay for gas wherever we travel. We pay for our food whenever we have to do meetings. I have to pay for all of the printing supplies when we print out agendas and ink and, all of the stuff that we have to spend money on personally that we're not even reimbursed for, just so that we can put as much of the funds back into the community and to our membership as possible. I think we do a lot to make the dollars go as far as possible.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, one of the main reasons I got involved on this committee is because I've seen so much work going into having our community influence and work on other communities and work for things that people believe in. And I have really enjoyed that aspect, that we're kind of shifting and putting more efforts into that direction. And it made me want to get involved and be able to help raise money for those efforts, because I think it's really important.
I think it's awesome that you get that. I do. It's so hard to get people to understand that, we're not doing this because we're trying to make, it's not because that the people who are volunteers on the board for Atheists of Utah are trying to make money doing this at all. We don't get paid. I can't tell you how much money I've personally spent over the years just being on the board and trying to do things to support the board and making donations of materials and time and things for the gala, things to auction off later, things that I've bought and donated to the group as to be used elsewhere, So it's not for personal enrichment, and it's certainly not because, there's a huge amount of people who regularly thank you for your efforts. Generally, you get shit on for it. So, it's something that I like to do to try to give back to the community. It's that I want to help build a community and build a source of support for the people that have been abandoned and ostracized from the religion and the family and the friends that they've left behind when they lost their belief in an invisible bully in the sky. And
I think that's really important.
So it's difficult sometimes. So I think it's awesome and fantastic that you've recognized that and are doing your best to help us help other people as well. So the money's going for all of that grand and wonderful stuff.
Yes.
That's part of the silent auction. So dinner's at 7. What's on the menu?
Ooh, Becca.
So we are.
I'm the fat guy, so I'm asking about drinks and food.
Well, it's not finalized yet exactly what we're having, but the caterers are called Olive and Thyme. They are Iraqi sisters, and we found them through the Spice Kitchen Incubator, which is a really cool thing. They
Spice Kitchen Incubator?
Yes.
Like they take a newborn kitchen and put it in there until it can live on its own?
Yeah, basically. So they work with refugees and they work with disadvantaged community members, anybody who's interested in creating a food-related business. And so they put them through this whole program that helps them develop their business plan and just get everything set up. And then they start them out with catering. And so they get experience, they get their menu set, and then eventually they have them out on their own as their own separate business. They have,
that sounds like that'd be a really rewarding place to work, to help other people get set up to do their own thing.
Yeah, it's a really cool program, and it's all free to the entrepreneurs.
Oh, wow.
So they get all of this mentoring and just all these resources and get them up operating, which is really cool. And they work with a lot of refugees, like I said, so they've got food from all over the world. And we chose these sisters from Iraq that, they have great reviews. I'm really excited to try their food. It's going to be awesome.
Sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. Dinner's at 7. What have we got by way of entertainment?
So entertainment, we are still finalizing all of it, but the things that we have on tap
There's
already,
more than one thing?
Oh, God, yes. There's going to be as many things as I can pack into a 30-minute segment. Because we do want to get to some dancing. Dancing is incredibly important.
Absolutely.
And I hear that our DJ is going to have some 80s music, which makes me super happy. So I'm stoked about
nice.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Flock of Seagulls. Yes!
So
we talked about them last week. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. So, one of the things I'm really excited to have for the entertainment is an acro duo. So an acrobatic duo, Nancy Carter and Dustin Webb, and they do a performance of acrobatic stunts and feats. And we're going to have 2 acts from them. I'm really stoked to see that.
Cool.
It's going to be good. We also are going to have a belly dancing performance by Anna West and her Rubber Room performers.
Rubber Room Performers.
I know. Isn't that a great name?
Anna West and the Rubber Room Performers.
So we're going to have that. She teaches belly dance at Slick. And they do a fusion tribal style. So if I have that right. So that should be fantastic. We're also going to have a body painter for the evening. She's going to paint a nebula on our model. Throughout the evening, so you get to see the progress and all of the technique that goes into it.
Like a naked human body?
A mostly naked human, yes.
Applying some sort of colored stuff to?
We still need a model, Dan. Do you want to volunteer?
Yeah,
No.
We're still looking for the model.
The tapestry's too big. It would take too long.
Yeah.
You don't have a model for it yet?
We don't. We need one still. So if anyone wants to reach out, that would be fantastic. We need some models.
Okay.
And
what are you doing? What are you doing on the 25th, Matt?
Me?
Show us the goods, Matt.
Maybe we can talk Ryan into doing it.
Ryan will do it.
He likes to be. If he could hold a bottle of Jack in front of his junk, I'm sure we could talk Ryan into doing it.
Well, it's a waist up type of situation.
But he can wear something
on the bottom. Yeah, it's a waist up.
Oh, okay.
Is what we decided to go with because a
He's
full
pretty
body
hairless,
takes too long.
too, so yeah,
he'll still have to shave apparently. Like even the peach fuzz will mess up the. Yeah, so even like a female would have to shave all the peach fuzz off.
Huh.
So. Yeah, you learn all kinds of cool things when you get in charge of entertainment.
And that's just one more reason why it wouldn't be a good idea for me to do it, because
take way too long.
Too much.
Very woolly. I have more than a little bit of peach fuzz.
To clip the beard back too.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, man! Look at this. I'm a walking.
You're like an albino Robin Williams.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Except you're still alive.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So acrobats, a body painter, belly dancers.
Yes, we'll also have a photo booth. Tanya and Ken Van Moren. Am I getting that right?
Van Morum.
I love those guys.
That's a cool last name.
Totally.
So yeah, they're going to be doing a photo booth, and we will have Corbin Anderson is our DJ for the evening. So we already have good things, and there's more things that will be revealed.
That was at least 5 things.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
How are we going to fit all of this into such a short amount of time?
You'll
Magic,
have to be
pretty
there to
much.
find out.
Wow, that's really... So, 5 different things. What time does the gala close?
Midnight.
Okay.
And we're going to have the after party starting at 9:30.
Well, the after party officially starts at 9.
9.
Yeah, because the after party people get to come and participate in all the entertainment. So they get to come if they want to at 9 o'clock and see all the entertainment. 9:30 is when the dancing will start. And then the silent auction will close at 10:30 so that anyone who comes to the after party can still have access to bidding on the silent auction, and they're going to want to because there's some fucking amazing things in the silent auction.
I can tell you that 2 people are donating some really cool things. I know what I'm donating and what Tracy's donating.
Yeah.
Both of them are very cool.
How? How do you know that?
Wait, Dan, I haven't actually. This is a bone of contention here for me because I haven't actually heard what you're donating, and I'm in charge of this, and I'm a little bit peeved.
Well, I'm keeping you in the dark because it's all big surprise. That's all there is to it.
Oh, great!
It's gonna be a big surprise.
We're meeting Sunday, and I'll tell you more.
Okay. Fine.
No, yeah, I have at least a couple things in mind that I'm going to do. And well, you know what Tracy's doing, so
yes, I do.
What are other things that are going to be in the silent auction?
So there's some really awesome donations that we've gotten from some new donors this year.
New donors?
Really fantastic. So one of the first ones to get on board was Hotel Monaco in Bambara.
It's a really great
really
place.
luxurious hotel across from Capitol Theater.
It's a Kimpton hotel.
Yeah, super nice. Bambara is the restaurant below it. So they've donated a luxurious night stay with dinner for 2.
Oh, wow.
And Bambara is a fantastic restaurant. They
source
a lot of...
I've heard
really
it's really good.
nice.
I haven't been in there.
They source a lot of their ingredients locally. In fact, I think all of them. And they compost and they have gardens and everything. So they're a really fantastic company.
Gardens.
Compost.
I love composting gardens. You can see where my focus is on things.
And it's a pet-friendly hotel. And if you don't have a pet, they'll give you a goldfish.
What?
I did not know that.
It's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You have no small animals with you. Please take one.
Another thing that I'm really excited for in the silent auction is from Mountain Town Olive Oil Company. I don't know if you know them. They have a store in Park City as well as at the Gateway, and they have.
That's probably why they're called Mountain Town.
It might be. Thinking. And they have really, really delicious flavored oils and vinegars and spices, and all of it's local. They are donating a tasting for up to 20 people, and it has included in it appetizers and drinks, and those drinks can be alcoholic.
Awesome.
So that one's kind of a cool experiential thing, I thought. So that one's going to be in the silent auction. There's also City Creek has donated a
Like City Creek Mall?
Yes.
The thing owned by the
Mormons
LDS Church?
Yes, the fucking Mormons. I should probably not say that about our sponsor.
Wait, yeah.
I love that they have donated something.
I love the fucking Mormons.
Super fantastic. But they have donated a membership to City Creek, which basically is free parking for a year, including some valet parking. And that one is kind of cool, especially if you work downtown or if you want to go down for events and things like that. It's super central. So that one is a cool one. And then, another thing, and full disclosure on this one, my brother owns this company and I'm so pleased that he decided to donate, but he owns a company called Train Walk Poop, and he has services for...
I hope it's not a Chinese restaurant.
I hope it's not a locomotive place where...
Any other guesses? Other guesses?
You get on a train and you walk and you poop. There you go.
I was just picturing Chinese guy walking poop like in the back. Sounds amazing. No, in the walk.
In the walk.
Yeah. W-O-K.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, this would be W-A-L-K.
Right, so dogs, right? It's a training. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he trains dogs, does dog walking. He also does boarding and doggy daycare. And he just has a really, really fantastic rapport with dogs. And so he's donated some training as well as a leash and some dog things. And it's a pretty good package. I'm just going to say,
so if you go to him,
on that one.
So if you go to him, it's okay to walk your dog.
Yes.
Okay. As opposed to say like a Chinese restaurant where
they're like,
maybe not so much.
No.
Dog.
Yeah.
So you twisted your brother's arm and got him to donate some stuff. That's awesome.
I did, and he was totally pleasant about it too.
How generous.
So yeah. So that was fantastic. We also have a lot of things donated by members. So Kevin Newman has donated a stained glass picture. Well, I guess it's a window that says "Atheist of Utah." I don't know if anyone's seen that.
Guy. He's been on the show.
Yeah, I think you know him.
Yeah. A bit.
So that one, I think he posted a picture of that on the event page, so people can check that out there. But it's really beautiful. And then we have Brittany Bellows. Last year, she donated some artwork.
She's a soulless ginger.
But she can paint.
She's one of those people.
She's decided to do that again, so we're excited to see what she has
She
for
does.
that.
She does really great watercolors.
And then Holly Hoops has donated, and I really love it. It just showed up in the mail, a boob beanie. She knitted or crocheted. I don't know which. I can't tell the difference between the stitches. I am not crafty. But
I am not crafty.
Sorry about that.
I don't make crafts, but I'm crafty.
Maybe that's true. But yeah, so a boob beanie, and it is pretty fantastic. The nipple is on the top. I really like it.
That's awesome.
So that one's pretty cool. And then we have Tracy's Death Star basket that I'm so stoked to see what she comes.
I don't know how she likes to buy shit, and she has bought so much stuff. I don't know what basket she thinks any of it is going to fit into.
It will be a giant basket, Death Star sized basket.
Yeah, I mean it's going to have to be that it's a giant basket, or two baskets, or some kind of Russian Death Star nesting thing where you have a big Death Star and then open it, and there are just more things in each successive opening of another Death Star, because
that sounds incredible.
It's fucking like it covered half of the table upstairs. I don't know how she's gonna put it in a basket. So
okay, so half a table
I'm gonna bid on that.
just for Tracy's basket.
Just for the one basket.
Sounds good. Good to be prepared.
You're gonna need some space, is what I'm saying, for the silent auction.
Yeah. So we have all that plus a ton more stuff that's coming through. Ogden's Own donated again. Thanksgiving Point donated again. Ballet West donated again. So we have a lot of things that we're really excited about. We got Dr. Volts and the Nerd Store are both donating in kind of competition with each other. So we'll see how that goes. And then one of our biggest sponsors this year is actually our venue. And so Becca, I think, can share more info about Church and State.
So yeah, Church and State is another business incubator. We are going with the incubators this year, guys.
Nice.
Yeah, we're supporting local entrepreneurs.
See, we can donate to Planned Parenthood that gives abortions and these other people that incubate things.
Both sides. Yeah. So, yeah, Church and State, they're at the corner of 4th South and 4th East, right across from the library there. And it's an old church. So you probably have seen it driving past on 4th South. They used to have that little billboard thing that would have like the churchy puns. Now it's a Herbert billboard.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. It's like an old church. One whole wall is stained glass. And we're going to be in like the chapel. So that's where the main event is going to be. And then our dance floor with the DJ is going to be downstairs. And so, and Church and State is actually, they reduced the fees. And so they're acting as our
to
sponsor.
rent out the venue?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was awfully nice of them.
It was, yeah. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about what they do. And they are a no strings attached, business incubator. So they're a nonprofit 501c3, and they offer free space and resources to entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. You just have to apply, and they have to, buy into it, and they accept you to their their incubator program. And it's the same thing as the Spice Kitchen. They give you mentorship.
So it's like Shark Tank?
I don't know.
I wouldn't know either. I've never fucking watched Shark Tank.
Yeah. I don't think so.
It doesn't sound like Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Probably not.
And most incubators they'll want some part of your company, or they'll want equity or something like that.
So it's the opposite of Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they just want to help you get up and running,
Okay.
And they'll offer it for free. And so as long as you qualify, then they'll go through their whole program. They'll get you set up with all these resources. And you can even use their space as like a co-working space. So you can just go in there and use the Wi-Fi and have a quiet space to work. And it's pretty cool. Yeah. And so they offer it for free because they have all these partners in the community. The building and the land is paid for. They have no debt whatsoever. And then they hold events there. So they rent out the event space. That's how they are a self-sustaining thing. And then they also, they have business resources that also rent out space there and provide resources to the entrepreneurs too.
Well, that's a very cool.
Yeah, that's
a very cool.
And it's a gorgeous building.
Got a little Italian on you.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So if you want to learn more about it, their website is cs1893.com.
Guessing that was when the building was built.
Oh, good guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm awesome!
You're so smart.
Hey, I need a gold star.
You're the only one in the room that remembers it, so that's kind of not fair.
Come on, man. No,
So
that's
we're
awesome.
really happy to hold it there. I think it's a perfect fit. I think it's kind of funny to have it in an old church. And
Do you know what kind of church it was previously?
It wasn't LDS.
Really?
No.
But I don't know.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of stained glass in
No,
LDS
and there's
churches.
like crosses and stuff. Yeah.
The Greeks, the Greek Orthodox had a lot of influence in early Utah life. I'm thinking it was probably a Catholic.
Yeah.
It does. Somebody was saying that they thought it looked more like Episcopal or something like that.
Huh.
Some kind of Protestant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll have to go and lick a window and tell you what flavor of Christianity it is.
Please do.
Can we get a picture of that?
Yeah.
Or
Maybe for promotional purposes.
Well, it sounds like a great time.
Yeah, it's going to
Does.
be a fantastic
Sounds awesome.
event.
We're excited about it. And there is still one last chance to get early bird tickets.
Mm-hmm.
They're
I
available.
thought that was done and over with.
We
Yeah.
lied.
Faked you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're really nice, and we're going to extend it just for a limited extra time. So January 31st is the last day you can get early bird tickets, and the membership
Is that
price
Tuesday?
January 31st. So member price is $70. Non-member is $80, and that is until January 31st. So get your tickets as soon as possible.
And then February 1st, they go up to $80 for a member, $90 for non-member.
And then there's an after-party price. We haven't added that yet to the website, but we will be adding it soon, and that is $25 for the after-party. So those people who are wondering if this is the same event they went to last year, it is. If you paid for the after-party last year, there will be an after-party price this year as well. So
it sounds like this year's after-party will be better than previous years, though. Like,
I think it's
to hang
all
out
going
for
to be
a
better.
long time.
I think this is the kind of thing that just gets better every year.
Yeah. Well, how could it not with you guys helping in the planning, right?
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Oh.
You're welcome.
No, thank you both very much. This is awesome. Like, I haven't, not that I've done much with the previous or past galas either, but I haven't had to really worry much about any of this because you guys have just been doing it. And you're doing a fucking kick-ass awesome job.
Well, thanks.
Thanks, Dan.
It's been
thank you.
super fun to work
Fuck,
on. So,
yeah.
yeah, we've been enjoying it.
Thank you so much for doing it. I appreciate it a shit ton. Anything else on it?
I think that's the highlights.
Yep.
Oh.
It's gonna be amazing.
Well, now let's talk
Can't
about
wait to
you
see
guys.
all there.
Oh, wait, we should say that it is, like the attire is as formal as you would like. Also, costumes are totally welcome, but whatever you're comfortable in, we'd love to see you. So, if
I'm gonna
anyone's
get
wondering
fancy.
about that.
I'm thinking like sequins.
I
get as fancy as I can on
I've
any
rented
opportunity.
a tux for all of them. I'm sure I'll rent a tux for this one.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've covered it, I think.
Well, awesome. Thanks again for doing all of that. That's very cool.
Going back to the doctor, the hypothetical doctor and the astronomer, if you knew that one of the candidates that you're contemplating voting for believed that in the 19th century a man called Joseph Smith dug up some golden tablets which he translated and then conveniently lost, and translated, moreover, although a 19th century man translated them into 17th century English, and lots and lots of other...
And more importantly, unlike some of the... I mean, we also agree that the biblical stories are equally ridiculous, but the difference is we don't know they were written by known con men, but in fact he was a known felon.
Yes.
The next rant will start right after this.
I say, fine, pray for anything you want. Pray for anything. But what about the divine plan? Remember that? The divine plan. Long time ago, God made a divine plan. Gave it a lot of thought, decided it was a good plan, put it into practice. And for billions and billions of years, the divine plan has been doing just fine. Now you come along and pray for something. Well, suppose the thing you want isn't in God's divine plan. What do you want him to do? Change his plan? Just for you? Doesn't it seem a little arrogant? It's a divine plan. What's the use of being God if every rundown schmuck with a $2 prayer book can come along and fuck up your plan? And here's something else, another problem you might have. Suppose your prayers aren't answered. What do you say? Well, it's God's will. Thy will be done. Fine, but if it's God's will and he's going to do what he wants to anyway, why the fuck bother praying in the first place? Seems like a big waste of time to me.
One of my favorite things about having guests is talking to them about their life prior to being an atheist and what led them to being an atheist now.
Yes.
Both of you have said that you are now atheists.
Yep.
But you were both previously LDS. You, Tamara, said that you left when you were about 23.
Yes.
You, Becca, said you left when you were 19. So... youngest one goes first. So, so you were, I mean, were you super devout? Is your whole family LDS? How does that all work?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My parents were both converts to the church and they were really big into it. So yeah, all 6 of us kids were raised LDS. And
yeah, what's that saying? Like nobody's more enthusiastic than the newly converted or something like that? Yeah.
Yep. They were really into it.
Yeah.
And so, I had questions growing up. You know, I wondered about evolution and fossils and women's roles in the church.
Dinosaurs.
And I never got really good answers. I never got answers that I was really satisfied with, but I kind of pushed that down and was just like, yeah, whatever. It sounds like it's all good. So I kept trying.
At least everybody's nice to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Well, and I was raised outside of Utah until I was about 11.
Uh-oh.
And so we moved here to Spanish Fork, actually, when I was about 11. And the whole reckoning with Utah Mormons was really tough.
I mean, I don't know because I don't really know any Mormons outside of Utah, but I've heard it's a big difference. Like, being Mormon outside of Utah versus being Mormon in Utah is a very big dynamic shift in how they treat other people, how they view things, how they talk.
Big time.
How passive aggressive they are.
Yeah, how welcoming they are. Yeah, and I was used to like Air Force bases where everyone's kind of coming and going, and then I moved to Spanish Fork where it's like everyone knows everybody else since preschool.
Yeah.
So that was rough. So that actually made me question a little bit more when I saw the disparity. And so when I was 19 I moved up to Park City, and I was living with all these non-denominational Christians. And they were there for the Olympics, actually. They were in Park City to preach the word of the Lord at the Olympics.
I've made up my own religion around Jesus. You want to hear about it?
Yeah. But they were actually really great people. And that was the kind of thing that pushed me over the edge. It was like, these people are better than almost all the Mormons that I know. And I can't believe that they're not gonna.
It's not the highest hurdle, really, though, right? Like, a lot of the Mormons I know are fantastic people, but a lot of them are really shitty people too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't understand why these awesome people were not going to go to heaven because they weren't Mormon, because they didn't believe the same things that we were. They weren't going to go to the celestial kingdom or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that pushed me over the edge. I'm like, well, that's bullshit. And so then I started looking at all the other things with the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith and all that other shit, and just it kind of all went out the window. For the course of about a year. And then I considered myself agnostic for a little while. And then mid-20s, I don't know, I think I was reading Hitchens' book or something like that, and kind of pushed me over the edge to be full-on atheist.
Like, that's it, I'm done, I'm out.
Did you tell your family about it as you were going through, or did you kind of like hold off for a while? And
my family found out when I asked my mom to help me get birth control. Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yep.
Mom, I want to start doing naughty things, or maybe it could happen, and I want your help so that I don't get pregnant.
And to my mom's credit, she handled that with as much grace as a Mormon mother could, and helped me out, and she always has supported me.
As much grace as a Mormon mother could.
Yeah, well, you know. And she did it. And she was a certified nurse midwife, so she actually was like a women's healthcare provider, so she's the one who got me the stuff. And but of course she insisted that I get like the full STD panel beforehand, you know, because it's pretty dirty when you have sex.
That's not a terrible thing, though.
No. I think that is a really good thing to do on a regular basis. But, you know, when you're like 19 and I don't know.
Was there any one thing that stood out to you specifically about the Joseph Smith story or the Book of Mormon thing? That because you said you started exploring that stuff, and then that kind of shifted you toward or away from the church?
A lot of it was the plausibility of the golden plates and the translation, and just how it doesn't match up with history at all, and you know, things like that. And then the whole treasure hunting aspect of Joseph Smith and the young wives and all of that.
Fanny Alger.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she's not so young.
I always thought that was a funny name.
I know. That's the only one I remembered, actually.
She was way older than him, though, right? She was like 60.
What?
Fanny Alger was not
She was like
60.
14.
Was Fanny the young one?
I think so.
Pretty sure Fanny was 14.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, there was one that was way
I just know her name was Fanny.
That's funny.
That's all I needed to know about it. Like,
that means butt.
Unless you're in the UK.
Yeah. If you're in the UK, it's totally different. Which was a whole other level of funny to me this time. So you left the church, told your parents about it. Are they totally cool with it? Do they weep and mourn for you turning away from the beloved church and wish that you would come back onto the fold and recognize Heavenly Father's love for you and go to the temple and marry a nice young returned missionary?
Well, yes, they do wish all of that for me, but they don't say that to me.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty cool about it, actually. And I wasn't the first one to leave the church in my family, which made it a lot easier. My big sister was a bit of a rebel, and she was the oldest kid. And then my older brother was like growing pot in my mom's garden in high school. And so, so I was kind of old news by the time I decided to leave. So it made it a lot easier.
That's helpful of them.
Yes.
They had learned to accept that it was going to be a thing that could possibly happen to more of their children. How many brothers and sisters have you got?
There's 6 kids, 3 girls, 3 boys, and 4 of us have left the church now. So we're winning.
That's good. You're winning. But like your parents have to be so heartbroken. Like, where did they go wrong?
I know. They taught us how to think for ourselves.
Oh, that's where they went wrong. If they wanted to keep you in the church, for sure. Do they ever ask you why you don't believe? Like, have you ever had a conversation about it?
No.
Really? Like,
we avoid conflict in my family.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just don't talk about unpleasant things.
That happens in a lot of LDS families, I've noticed.
This is a thing.
Either they just don't talk about it, or you're shunned and done and over and not a part of the family anymore.
Yeah, luckily my family's not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much better to be like your family than to just disown you and kick you out of the house, whatever. So you went from Mormon, agnostic, now atheist. Were you haven't always been, so you're kind of an activist, right? Like you're helping with the Board of Atheists of Utah. You're outspoken about it. I'm guessing you don't hide the fact that you're an atheist to anybody.
I think that it's important to like be an out atheist, and to, I don't know, just let people know that they know an atheist and that you're not a bad person and that you're just a regular old person, you know?
I'm just a regular Joe, see?
Yeah. So, I think that's important. And so I don't hide that. Like, I'm an out atheist at work. A lot of people know that I'm planning the gala. And, so yeah, I think it's a big thing. And the more people that do live out and open about it, the better our movement will be.
And the easier it makes for everybody else who follows behind you,
exactly.
Right?
The more comfortable everybody becomes with the idea.
Right, yeah. Well, and just like your other siblings who left the church before you made it that much easier for you to leave and to be out, and for your parents to understand that you weren't the spawn of Satan, that you weren't, that you're not a terrible person, all those great things. So the more people that are out and open about it and people can recognize that, that just helps everybody else who follows behind, so. And everybody who's already out as well, because, then everybody can go, well, now I know 2 or 3 atheists and they're starting to surround me and I don't understand.
It's not so scary.
And I haven't died yet and they didn't kill me.
Yeah.
Nothing terrible happened.
They haven't eaten any of my babies yet.
It's totally fine.
We have a good time at lunch together. It's fine. It's fine. They're good people.
Yeah.
I haven't brought up the Smurfs once.
Yet.
All right. Now it's your turn, Tamara.
Okay.
So you were 23 before you left the church.
About that, yeah.
Yeah. You didn't grow up here in Utah. Well, you were born here in Utah, moved away and came back.
Yes.
Well, and how old were you when you moved away?
I was about 7. So I grew up in Vegas and I was there from 7 to 17. I did a short stint in Spokane. And then I moved to Orem.
From Vegas to Spokane to Orem.
Yep.
So what took you from Utah to Vegas?
My dad's job took me to all those places. So he got transferred.
What does Dad do?
He's a salesman. He sells like office
Bibles?
Equipment.
No.
That would have been really
Traveling
great.
Bible salesman would have been awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope. Just boring old sales.
So you come back, so you're Utah to Vegas to Spokane to Orem. Ugh.
I know. I feel that way.
Matt lives there.
Like to the nth degree.
And so then you're in Orem, but you don't leave until you're 23. So what happened? First, how old were you when you moved back to Utah?
I was 18.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So a good 5 years in Utah before you're like, fucking I'm out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
And what happened during those 5 years? Did somebody hurt you?
Somebody did not hurt me.
Were you smurfed?
Did you just want to sin?
I got a little smurfed, yeah.
Did you just figure out that you wanted to sin?
Yeah, we talked about the
is
short
pretty
skirts.
great.
Short skirts were really important to me. No, so when I moved to Orem, I mean, I was out of high school and all that stuff. So I didn't really have the same experience. Like my brothers and sisters had the same thing I think that Becca had, where it was just like huge culture shock. And they went to school and were just like, what is going on? Everything is crazy
What
and
in
fucked
the
up.
hell?
Yeah. So I didn't really have that. I was just kind of adrift doing my own thing. I got married and I was very, very religious. I did everything. I followed every fucking rule. I was on board for this shit. And I was super stoked to get married and go through the temple and find that ultimate truth. Cause for me, truth is the thing. Like that was always what the Mormon church held for me, is that they had absolute truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I was looking for. And then I got married and I went through the temple and I was like, fuck this shit. Are you fucking kidding me? The misogyny in the temple is the thing that got me out. It got me started thinking, and then I started just reading. I read a book called Mormon Polygamy, hence the Fanny Alger reference.
Oh, okay.
And that was a big step for me, where I was just like, oh no, this is super fucked up and I can't be on board with this. And then when that, you get that one thing that pulls out and everything falls.
Yeah.
And so
you tug on that thread and it all just comes undone.
Comes undone. So I was doing a lot of research, and my dad is actually a really highly intelligent, studious person. He and some of my aunts and uncles and some of his friends were searching for the ultimate truth, and they went to some crazy places in order to try and find it. And so he has done even more research than I have. And we both left the church at the same time, but separately, and we're so scared to talk to each other about it because we were both so religious and so zealous that we were like, oh shit, it's not true. How am I going to tell Dad? And he's like, how am I going to tell Tamara?
Wow.
So one day we were just sort of like talking about stuff the way that we do. And it was kind of like, what do you think about this thing over here? And he's like, well, I actually think this. And I was like, oh, me too. Okay. And then we were just like super relieved and talked about everything.
Huh.
At this time, my brother was on his mission in Mexico.
Oh.
And he is even more zealous than we are. Well, he's just very enthusiastic. And we were so scared.
Aren't all Mormon missionaries like, I'm super enthusiastic?
Is this the train walk poop brother?
This is the train walk poop brother.
Ah.
So he was coming home in a couple of weeks, and we were kind of trying to draw straws on who's going to talk to Ryan. We're like, oh God, who's going to talk to him? Dad drew that straw. Talked to Ryan when he got home. A couple weeks later, he was out and drunk.
Oh, wow.
My sister was never very much into it, and both of my brothers eventually left. I'm the oldest of 5 kids, so right now my mother's the only one who is religious, and the rest of us are out, and it's fucking awesome. So
is Mom still very devout, or?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of contact, so.
Yeah. I don't understand that. Are your parents married?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, thank God.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't understand how that could happen. First, that, she would stay married to somebody who's not in the church, who could take her to the celestial kingdom.
Yeah, right. They did that for a while. It was pretty rough.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well,
it's good that they're apart.
I've never understood why a woman would want to be in a church who treated her that way anyway.
Me too.
Yeah. Where the only way that she could attain the highest level of heaven, regardless of anything she's done in her entire life, she cannot attain the highest level of heaven unless her husband calls her there.
Yep.
And it's his choice on whether he wants to do it. So she has to be subservient to him her entire life, their entire wedded lives together. She has to make sure that she doesn't piss him off enough that he's not just going to go, fuck it, I'll get another one.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, she feels like that makes her special. So because she's chosen or picked, it's almost like a chivalrous type of notion where it's like you're special and taken care of. she seems to have that, but she has a really special talent for justification. And so, like, she controlled most everything all the time anyways. And so I don't think she felt like she didn't have power. You know, and
she felt like, oh, motherfucker, you're going to pick me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was kind of the thing. Like she didn't worry about
I
that
cook your
aspect.
food and can poison it more easily than you can think about. So.
That better be your first wife.
Yeah. I've never understood how any woman can really be in the LDS Church. Any self-respecting, free-thinking, thoughtful woman can choose to be a member of the LDS Church because they're taught that they should be subservient and are lesser than men. And the church and the leaders try to spin it to be, oh no, women have a place. It's a special place.
Yeah.
That's what I was taught. I always asked my mom, like, why can't women have the priesthood? And the response was that, oh, well, women get to create life and give birth. And so the priesthood is really just kind of like a consolation prize for the men because they can't do that. And I'm just like, that is bullshit. Even when I was like 11, I knew that was bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, I know so many intelligent, thoughtful women that are LDS. And for me, you're right, it doesn't make sense to me at all.
That's why I say I don't get it.
But there are so many fantastic, beautiful, powerful women in the LDS Church, and it doesn't quite jive, but, you know, whatever. Do your thing.
I
love you anyways.
Cognitive dissonance.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. I don't understand how women are in the church. I don't understand how blacks are in the church. It makes no sense to me at all. But
any religion, really, especially for women.
Yeah.
I can't think of one that
it's not
really
just the Mormons.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
Mormons is sort of on, well, yeah, I don't know. They're all pretty fucking bad. They're all pretty bad for women.
I mean, at least Mormon women at some point were allowed to like give blessings, and like there's some things, there's a few little moments, especially with Joseph Smith, where they had a few small things that they were given, and there's some other religions where they got nothing, you know, but then they take it all away, and so
at least there's not a culture of like, well, meh. I was gonna say at least there's not like a major culture of physical abuse like there's in like Islam and
yeah,
some of the
it's certainly not as bad as those.
But there is still, I mean,
well, I don't think it's not an out culture.
Systemic.
It's something that is much more hidden. It's not accepted.
Yeah.
It's something that's very much like on the outward side that you're not supposed to do that, even though it gets covered up in some places.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that type of abuse is nurtured and started by this whole idea that, you know, I am the husband, I'm the head of the household.
Yeah.
And really, if you want to join me in the celestial kingdom, you need to do what I'm telling you, or else I'm just not going to call your secret name. So what, had you never gone, I'm sorry, this just reminded me, I had a question about going through the temple. So you said that going through the temple really freaked you out. Had you not gone through the temple at all before
No, I had not.
Before getting married?
Yeah, girls don't get to do that until they get married. I mean, if you go on a mission, you do, but.
So what in particular about the temple ceremony freaked you out? Or what freaked you out? I'm sure there were several points at it where you're like, what the fuck? But what was the most damaging to you?
So for me, it was the endowment where, you watch the whole video about Adam and Eve, and then Eve fucks up. God damn it, Eve. And then.
Women, right?
God, what do you do with them? And then after that, you all veil your faces, and Eve doesn't say, like, hardly anything except, oh, I'll follow whatever my husband says after that.
Follow him.
Yeah, it's basically that. So, yeah, like, and then women are basically nothing. And I've heard arguments that it's, you know, you're special and you're sacred. And I'm just like, fuck that. No, you're not. You know, that was a big thing for me. It was just like, I am not less than any other person, especially the men in this room. I'm not less than them. Just because Eve did the thing that she had to do, that she was like ordained to do, that nothing would have worked without her doing, and then we all don't get to talk anymore. That's just bullshit. Yeah. So that really bothered me. I did not enjoy that. One of the things
I did not enjoy that.
Interesting enough, a lot of people really hate the washing and anointing where you get naked and
right. Yeah.
But for me, that was actually one of the best parts because it's one of the only places that women still get to bless. So women have the power to give priesthood blessings in that very special circumstance, and they bless all your body parts. And I actually really liked that part. I was like, oh, see this? And they start with that. So I was like, yeah, here we are. Here we go. Like the truth is unfolding. Here's the real stuff. And then
it all went downhill
from there.
Fuck,
I'm out.
Yeah. I left the church when I was really young, so I don't think I ever even passed sacrament, was how young I was. Like, I left just after being baptized. So.
Somehow I never did pass a sacrament, but I went to the temple.
I remember lusting after the boys that were passing the sacrament.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. That was the only thing that made sacrament meeting interesting.
Weird.
I was always really judgmental of the way they were doing it. I was just like, no, you're not doing it right.
That better than you.
You are not being serious enough. This is a very sacred thing.
They always had the one kid who's like got hair sticking up over here and like half his shirt's untucked and his tie isn't like straight. And you're like, dude, what did you just barely get here?
You're an embarrassment.
Or, God forbid, the colored shirt instead of the white.
Oh, right. Wow. Well, thank you both very, very much for joining us this evening.
Hey,
it was fun.
Yeah.
It's been a whole lot of fun. I liked it very much. I'm so looking forward to the gala this year.
It's going to be so good.
Too.
I've been excited about past galas, but this one in particular, I'm like, you guys have done a great job, and I'm very excited to see at least 5 different entertainment things and food and drinks at a great location and all of the, I can't believe how many people you guys have gotten to donate stuff. That alone is amazing because that has been a big struggle in the past, I know. So
we've been working hard.
Yep.
Everybody needs to come and support all of the work that Atheists of Utah does. And yeah, it's going to be
fantastic.
All
the work that
really fun.
You two have done for Atheists of Utah. Thank you very much for doing it.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
And thank you all for listening to the show. Without Ryan here. We miss you, Ryan. You went away, and so now we can miss you.
Yeah, we stayed on topic every time the entire night. It was weird.
Nobody said anything wildly inappropriate anyway. But thank you all for listening. Thank you all. Thank you to our new Twitter followers, Facebook page likes, people who have subscribed to us on YouTube, our Patreon patrons. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you especially to Taylor and to Wes for being our first 2 Patreon patrons. That's still rolling. I still need to post more about it and add a button to our website and all kinds of shit like that. Work has just been...
Well, it's been up a week, right?
Yeah.
Basically, so.
Yeah. I have not been following their little instructions on, if you want to be successful, you need to do this, this, and this. I did the first step, and then I was like, life got in the way. But it's out there and available. I didn't get the first episode out much earlier than regular people get it on Monday. This one I will for sure, so that people can have the benefit of getting tickets before and knowing that you need to get them, because this is going to drop on Monday for most regular listeners, for the wider audience on Monday, and then they will only have Monday,
latest, right?
Yeah, then they'll only have Monday and Tuesday to get their tickets. So
yeah,
better get on it.
Maybe I'll have to release this one a little bit earlier, and still make sure that the Patreon patrons get it before even that. So
a whole bunch of stuff we should definitely be talking about off the air.
Editing a lot. So, but yeah, thank you all very much. Dano out.
How long have you been working on, dude? It's been like a year, and you've been trying to come up with a sign off.
Yeah.
I'll make fun of everyone, so just pick the one you like.
What is your sign off? All right. Well, yeah, fuck it. The show's over. Goodbye.
Hooray.
Does poop come across well? That's really important.
Poop.
I'm not an expert on drawing little kids in, so I don't know.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You need to get a rape van and then practice.